Lydia, welcome so much to the stream. Thank you for being here. So before I let you talk, Lydia, let me do a little introduction on who you are so that everyone understands who is talking. Let me find my notes. Yes, and I'm going to read this out because there's way too much to say about Lydia. I cannot remember it all. But Lydia has been a good friend of mine for many years. I've always known her as an extremely passionate person with a strong conviction. She will not move away from her position so quickly. Anything she decides to do, she does with dedication. And this is really, this speaks a lot for who she is as a person. Our discussions often evolve around our lessons in life and our shared frustrations. But what really shows is that Lydia cares deeply about doing things the right way and doing the right things. During the day, Lydia is a documentary producer and a host at the Free Tree Society here in Kuala Lumpur. This morning, actually, she donated trees with this society to the public, to the general public. Trees or plants, actually. At night, she produces her own moonshine, which is a local variation called Tuak. And I recommend, if you are in Malaysia, definitely contact her. It's delicious. I cannot tell, actually, because I don't drink. But my wife says that it's really delicious. Yeah, so Lydia's documentaries have been received in a total of 6 awards, maybe even more, at various film festivals around Malaysia. But they've also been screened at various international events such as Moondance and the Vancouver Golden Panda International Film Festival. That's a whole mouthful. Personally, I have seen several of her documentaries, and I can share that each one of them has a profound impact on the person watching, and it often gets people to either donate, take action, or to do other things that they call for. So I am excited and honored to have her here, have her share some of her knowledge and experience. And yeah, feel free to ask her any questions. We will make sure that the questions get answered afterwards. Of course, she has a few things to say first, but any other questions will be answered after in a specific question and answer session. Welcome so much to the stream, Lydia, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me and for reading out my intro. I'm very, very happy to be here, especially on Earth Day. This morning I was at an event in one of Kuala Lumpur shopping malls giving out 300 plants with the Body Shop. If anybody is on here from Malaysia right now, it's only 3:30. They will be giving out those plants up until 10 p.m. tonight. So please go and support our initiative over there by just going there and getting a free plant. So I'm also very, very, very happy to be here today in the spirit of making an impact with your life through storytelling. So thank you very much for having me. I'd love to start off our session today with asking everybody who's on the chat today or on this call today by asking you, what does impact storytelling mean to you personally? So if you guys can just type that in the chat, I'd love to see what it means to you. What is impact storytelling?
I will bring Jacqueline on the stream so Jacqueline can read out any of the questions that are there.
Yes, I'm scrolling down the comments. I don't have any, and we don't have any yet, but yeah, go ahead, everybody. Tell us about what is the question again? Story impact means to you.
There's probably a little bit of a lag.
Yeah.
So you can we can just maybe read those out later. And I think I'll just go forward and we can read those out later. I'm sure everybody has a personal take on what they believe impact storytelling is. But I will...
We have...
Oh, you have one?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
This is from Ridwan. Why? He said, induce emotion that will move actions. Exactly.
Okay. That's great,
That's
Ridwan.
one.
That's exactly what it is.
And
Stories that
on
compels
another
action.
one.
I can actually read them. I have
okay.
LinkedIn open right
Right.
now. Okay, great. Those are two very good answers from Jay Ashok. Stories that compels actions. Very good. Yeah. So basically, in essence, next slide, Martin. So basically, in essence, impact storytelling is basically telling a story through video, photos, or articles with the aim of raising awareness or inspiring action for a social or environmental cause. In terms of what impact storytelling means to me specifically, I am an impact filmmaker. So I use films and videos to make social or environmental impact by inspiring my audience who watches my videos to take action in their lives or in their communities for social change. But for many of you guys here today, I understand that I'm looking at all of your profiles that you guys are entrepreneurs or general managers, and none of you are actually professional documentary filmmakers like myself, but you're probably impact storytellers in your own way, but you're running organizations or businesses. So you may be telling impact stories to gain new customers for your products. And that's okay, that's fine. And I can see from all of your profiles, a lot of you own your own organizations or you're very senior. So I will trust that you guys will be able to take exactly what I'm saying as a filmmaker and be able to adapt what I'm saying and translate it into your own personal circumstance, because storytelling is necessary in every industry on every level. If you want to sell anything, get customers, get subscribers, you have to be a great storyteller. So next slide. Yeah, so why video? Why am I specifically talking about video? Obviously, I am a documentary producer. I'm a video producer and director, but actually, if you guys don't know this already, video is actually the most powerful communication tool to convey messages when you want to maximize impact. Video accounts for 80% of the content consumed online today. And video is also the most effective way to connect with your audience emotionally. And for those on this session right now that don't know this, emotion is what drives action, and it's what drives impact. So you must be able to connect with your audience emotionally. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, and they miss out on that fact. So again, many of you on this call today, you're not professional filmmakers like me, but impact storytelling in this day and age is very, very important for organizations and businesses, because consumers don't buy products anymore. They are buying a story. Consumers are prioritizing more and more the social and environmental impact of companies now. So it's increasingly becoming more and more important and crucial that businesses have a social impact campaign that is attached to your brand or your organization. So this is why it's valuable for you to know how to build and how to tell an impact story. So to kick off our impact storytelling session today, I'm going to show you a 2-minute trailer for an impact documentary funded by the brand Patagonia. It's an American outdoor apparel brand, and it's also one of the top social impact companies in the world. They fund countless environmental impact initiatives, and this trailer in particular is for the company's very first impact film or documentary that they have funded. And it's about the importance of dismantling big dams across America in order to help bring back healthy river ecosystems. So Martin, you can play the trailer.
I don't think FDR ever saw a dam that he didn't think should be built. It just really seemed like a great idea coming out of the Great Depression.
Like all constructed things, dams have a finite lifetime. And a couple decades ago, it was radical in terms of thinking that you could take a dam out. It was unthinkable. Go back 50 years, it was legitimately crazy talk. The conversation's changed.
taking a dam out and opening up a watershed, reconnecting it with the fish that were there for hundreds of thousands of years, I mean, it gives you, a hope.
You can take half of a salmon fishery, eat it, and they'll keep replacing themselves. What kind of a species throws that away?
We, as a country right now, are infatuated with tearing things down.
Some people seem to have forgotten that before the era of dam construction, the endless cycle of withering droughts and violent floods constantly plagued our watersheds.
You're asking some nasty questions when you ask about a free-flowing Snake River. It'd be a lot of teardrops of joy to see that river running again.
There's a great good here that belongs to the American people that's being stolen by a very small, corrupt branch of the federal government.
Yeah, I would advocate sabotage, subversion, as a last resort when political means fail.
Just because a dam has been sitting in a river for 200 years does not mean that it's going to stay there for the next 200.
So as you can see from this impact film, nowhere does it say, buy Patagonia, buy our jackets, buy our apparel. Nowhere does it say that. And so this is an important thing that I'd love for you guys who are in businesses. This is important for you guys to take this in, that you can fund impact campaigns where your brand can just be at the end. Like this whole film was purely about the cause. It's about the impact. And I think people really resonate with that when you're not shoving your brand or your message down people's throats. So as a result of this amazing documentary, Martin, can you go to the next slide? Yeah, so as a result of this amazing documentary, it's won loads of awards. So here are some of the impacts that have taken place after Patagonia's impact campaign on dam removals. So prior to removing one dam in this particular river in the United States, there were only 200 herrings that were running up this one river. And as a result of the impact campaign, after the dam was removed, there were 3 million herrings that were traveling upstream. So to go from 200,000 herrings to 3 million herrings because of the dam removal, that's a huge environmental impact based on Patagonia's funded impact campaigns. And this film is one of the things that supports their whole impact campaign that they have funded. Over 8,000 emails in the United States have been sent to members of Congress on dam removal, again, as a result of Patagonia's impact campaign. And overall, 10,000 actions have been taken in regards to dam removal in the United States since Patagonia's impact campaign on dam removals have started in 2005. So if any of you want to start impact campaigns or want to know the successes and how much impact you can go to Patagonia's website and you can find out. They have funded so many impact campaigns, and they're just really, really amazing in terms of social change. So the next slide. Yeah, so now I'm going to go into how to build and how to tell an impact story through video specifically, because that's my expertise. So knowing who your audience is very important. Yeah, knowing what kind of impact video you're going to make, that's also very important. We can just go down the list really quickly, Martin. Yeah, style will be dictated by knowing your audience. Doing your research is very important. The duration of your film will be dictated again by the platform you're putting it on in your audience and how you engage with your audience. So all of these things, these are the main key things that are really, really important. So I'm going to go into now a little bit more detail on all of these points. So all of you on here who are in sales and marketing and promotions, you already know that knowing your audience is extremely important in terms of selling your product. It's the same thing that goes for impact storytelling and in video making. You have to know your audience. You have to know their age, their socioeconomic background. You've got to know their education level, their lifestyle, their location. You have to know all of these things, because the way that you engage with a 20-year-old or a millennial audience or a Gen X audience is going to be very different to the way that you would engage with a 60-year-old audience. It's going to be a completely different approach. Next slide. So it's very, very important to know the stance of your audience. And stance meaning, are they, like, let's say you're doing an environmental video about dam removal or about climate change. You have to know, whoever you're making the video for, you have to know whether your audience already believes in climate change and they're believers in it, or if they're completely non-believers. This is so important, because the way that you would approach somebody who's a non-believer in your message is going to be totally different to how you would approach a believer in your message. It's completely different. Yeah, so in terms of your impact video specifically, it's going to be really important for you to decide right up front what type of impact story, what type of impact video you're going to try to make. Do you just want to raise awareness, or do you want it to be a call to action video? If you're doing a video, is it just raising awareness or call to action? The difference is the message at the end. A call to action video will have a very clear message and very clear steps at the end of your video to tell your audience, these are the steps we want you to take. These are the actions we need you to take at the end of the film. And a call to action video is the type of video that will be the most likely one that will inspire the most action. So if you don't have call to action at the end and you just want to raise awareness, again, that style of video is going to be very different. So you have to know from the beginning, am I just raising awareness, or do I want my audience to take action? So next slide. Yeah, so these are some examples of all the different calls to action you can have at the end of a video. So your call to action can be for your audience to sign a petition, join a protest, donate money, plant a tree, join a movement or activity. So basically, advertisements are, in essence, they're all call to action videos. Basically, it's like, look at this product, buy it. They're basically all call to action videos. But for impact videos, the kinds that I make, I'm not selling an actual product. I'm more selling an ideology or a cause. So think about how you want your audience to take action at the end of your video. Also very important. This is so important if you guys want to make an impact with video. Please think about how you want to measure your impact. I can't emphasize how important this is. It's so key that right up front you make a decision and you really think about how exactly you want to measure your impact right in the beginning before you even make your video. Is it okay? Is your impact measure going to be of how many views you get? Is it going to be how many likes you get? Is it going to be the number of shares that you get? Is it going to be the amount of money that you're going to be raising? The number of volunteers you inspire, like the number of actions taken after watching your videos? If you're not clear right up front about like how you're going to measure your impact at the end of the video, you're going to be in very big trouble. Like you're going to be in danger of your video not making much of an impact, or possibly like not even making any impact at all. So very important to be very clear how you want to measure that impact at the end of that video. Also really important, it's so key to connect with your audience members emotionally. You need to speak from your heart, guys. If you don't speak from the heart and you can't relate to your own message or your own impact message personally, you're gonna be in the danger zone of sounding preachy. And you know that when you see preachy things that seem vacuous when you're watching, I've seen so many videos online that are just trying to make me feel sad or whatever, and it just sounds preachy. You're gonna have very little impact. So relevance as well, making your video relevant is really important as well. So make sure that your topic, you make it current and relatable to your audience, to the present day. For example, if you want to make a video about ocean plastic, you need to add a relevant angle to it, like COVID-19, which is an issue that a lot of people are being affected by today. Because if you make it relatable to your audience and make it current, this will increase your relatability of your video and your topic, and it will increase the number of viewers and the number of people who buy in. Also, research is so important. I also cannot you can't underestimate how important research is. You need to be able to know as much as you can about the subject. Don't do a shallow amount of research. Research as much as possible. In fact, have a research assistant or a research team so that your video can, again, it's all about impact. You research more, you're going to have more impact because you're going to be more credible. You research less, you're going to have less impact, and you're going to be less credible. So don't skimp on the research. So this is a bit of a shocker. Back into the year 2000, the average human attention span was 12 seconds. Now it's dropped to 8 seconds. So making it even lower than the attention span of a goldfish. So that's pretty bad, humans. So according to researchers at Microsoft, this is a direct result of an increasing digital lifestyle. So our attention spans are shorter than a goldfish. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is for another tip and another key element of impact storytelling is you must grab your audience's attention in the first 8 seconds, probably in the first 5 seconds of that video. You have to hit everybody with a bang. Otherwise, they're just going to switch off because everybody has multiple screens on, right? When you're watching Netflix, you're also scrolling through Instagram. So you need to grab that attention in the first 5 seconds. Very important. So as you can see from here, these are all posters promoting the same thing. So they're veganism basically and eating less meat. So there's lots of different ways that you can tell the same story and deliver the same message. The same goes for video. So when it comes to style, so you can choose to use animation, you can choose to use documentary, scripted, non-scripted, interviews, motion graphics. There's so many different styles that you can use to tell your impact story. But ultimately, knowing who your audience is and your budget will influence your chosen style. So there's many, many different styles of telling the same story. But ultimately, no matter what style that you end up choosing, you have to make sure that, next slide, Martin, no matter what style you choose, you have to make sure that your visuals are really powerful. You have to have powerful imagery. Videos are so short nowadays that every single frame counts. You cannot waste a single frame. Your video wall to wall, again, attention span of humans are so low. Your video wall to wall has to be amazing photography, amazing images from the first frame all the way until the final frame. Because we're making videos that are really, really short now, impact videos especially. So you want every second to be impactful. So now I'm going to show you 3 different styles of impact videos, which are also made with 3 different budgets. So the 3 videos we're going to show you are going from least expensive to the most expensive. And so the first video we're going to show you is an impact video, a call to action video really made by an NGO that I work for called the Free Tree Society. So this is a cute little lighthearted video, call to action video that was made with free editing software, royalty-free music, and shot on a mobile phone. Okay? So you can see at the end of this video, the call to action clearly states, do your part if you have space, make a pond. So this is an informative, lighthearted call to action video that you can make on like basically zero budget. You just have to have the technical skills and a mobile phone to be able to make something like this. So the next impact video is a trailer. It's not the full film. You can get the full film later if you remind me at the end of this to give the link. So this is the trailer for an online documentary that I just directed and produced, and it's about our critically endangered Malayan tigers in Malaysia. So this is a much more serious issue, and you'll be able to notice this in the tone and the style of the filmmaking compared to the previous call to action video. So the level of seriousness of the filmmaking and the tone style matches the urgency of this wildlife conservation issue.
Royal Belum is an important area for tigers, and the biggest threat to the Malayan tiger are poachers. We had cable snares being found left, right, and center in the forest, and these cable snares are very dangerous to tigers.
I don't think we're seeing the image, Martin, on the playback.
Sana Penatin tak dengar bunyi harimau itu adalah kita jaga elok dalam bumi kita ni.
It is now or never. Very, very small window of opportunity. Everybody has a role to play in preserving this magnificent creature.
So the video didn't play, so we'll have to put that on screen again so everybody can watch it.
It didn't play? You didn't see it?
Yeah, it wasn't on screen. Yeah, we could hear it, but it didn't play.
Ah, okay. Let me try again. Can you see it now?
Royal Belum is an important area for tigers, and the biggest threat to the Malayan tiger are poachers. We had cable snares being found left, right, and center in the forest, and these cable snares are very dangerous to tigers.
Still can't see the video.
Sana Penatin tak dengar bunyi harimau itu adalah kita jaga elok dalam bumi kita ni.
It is now or never. Very, very small window of opportunity. Everybody has a role to play in preserving this magnificent creature.
That's strange. The video is not playing because I can see it clearly.
We can move on to the last video instead.
Yeah,
if you can play
maybe
that
you
one.
introduce the last video because this one is not going.
Yeah.
Do you want to address the last video first?
Yeah, I mean, I think we can just play it. We can just play it.
Is this visible?
So I really love this call to action video because it's really powerful and it's only 50 seconds. and it's literally has only 3 seconds. It's not very wordy. So you can see that with the use of the right kind of music and strong imagery, you can convey a very impactful message, and it doesn't have to be like really long. So again, knowing who your audience is will guide the kind of style that you want to use. So this is, this is animation, so this wouldn't be a cheap video to make. But as you can see, if you have a very talented director, editor, music composer, and everybody comes together, you can make a very powerful 50-second impact film. So we can go to the next slide.
Oh, is it showing here?
Problem is
yes.
Okay, we show it one more time.
Okay, let me introduce this then. Again, so this is the trailer for my impact film that has just been released online, and this is to promote the film, and it's a call to action 1-minute message.
Problem is an important area for tigers, and the biggest threat to the Malayan tiger are poachers. We had cable snares being found left, right, and center in the forest, and these cable snares are very dangerous to tigers.
Karena pernah tidak dengar bunyi harimau itu adalah kita jaga elok dalam bumi kita ini.
It is now or never. A very, very small window of opportunity. And we have a role to play in preserving this magnificent creature.
So yeah, so that was the trailer, and I don't think the audio was heard very much on that, but we can put a link to the full film later if you guys want to watch the full film and actually see it in all its glory. It took 3 months for me to make that film, so I'll share that link with you later. Okay, so pretty much everybody who makes impact videos nowadays will be showing or promoting them online. So use social media platforms as a tool to promote your videos. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, etc. Take note of duration limits on all of these platforms and edit your videos accordingly. Also, the time that you post your video is very, very important. If you're making like a be healthy, like promotional video about health or working out, you're not going to post it at lunchtime or 3 p.m. You're going to post it early in the morning or evening or when people work out to maximize your viewership. So knowing the time of day that your audience is consuming video content is really important to maximize your impact. So one of the most important things to get right when you're posting your impact video is copywriting. You have to make sure that your copywriting that accompanies your video when you post it is strong. Make sure that you always check your spelling and your grammar. Don't make it too wordy and get straight to the point. I can't tell you how many times I see really badly written copywriting that accompanies videos, and it's just grammar mistakes and spelling mistakes, and you just turn off. So make sure if your English isn't strong or your Mandarin isn't strong or the language that you're writing in isn't strong, make sure you have somebody who speaks that language as a first language proofread every single copy that you put out. That's so important for credibility and for people to take you seriously. And your written message must be crafted well and in a way that engages and encourages engagement with your audience. I mean, social media, after all, is a social platform, right? So make sure that you're writing in a way that engages. So to engage your audience or grab their attention, one idea is to ask a question in your copywriting. This will help promote interaction, which is what you want to be doing on social anyway. So always encourage your audience also through clearly stating and writing, please share, or please like this video, or please subscribe. A lot of the best accounts on YouTube, they will always say like, please subscribe, and they'll have lots of different buttons or whatever, and like different icons that say subscribe right here or whatever. So be very, very clear about that in terms of encouraging engagement, if that's what you want them to do, which is what you want them to do. So using hashtags is also really important. For those of you who are not familiar with social media, hashtags are really important. The more hashtags that you put with your posts, the more you open up your audience to new demographics and new people that you might not already have that are watching your content. So more hashtags means a different audience and different access for you, and different, different demographics. So my final point on impact storytelling is please be authentic. We've all seen videos out there that have this sad piano music and people crying, and it's like very drama or whatever, and it's so cringeworthy. I mean, there's nothing worse than when you're watching a video and you just feel like somebody's trying to shove down your throat an inauthentic message that you're not buying. You just immediately will switch off. And you want to stay as far away from that as possible. If you don't feel for your impact story, if you don't feel for the message, and you're not emotionally invested in that impact story that you're trying to tell, your audience definitely is not going to be impacted. That you can forget it. So you have to speak from the heart. You have to tell your stories from the heart. Must be authentic. You have to genuinely care about the message that you're communicating in your videos. And guess what? If you're trying to communicate or a story or tell an impact story and you're not really invested and you're just doing it so that you can get more customers, because you know that having an impact story attached to your brand is going to get you more customers, your customers that care are going to see right through it. If they don't see right through it the first time, they're going to eventually see right through it, and they're going to call you out online, and it's going to be very bad for you. So authenticity is so, so important. So I hope that all of you guys today have learned something new about impact storytelling, certainly impact video making. And I hope that you either already have an impact campaign attached to your brand, or you're planning on having one or investing in one. Yeah, that's pretty important to do that, because socially responsible communities are the strongest communities. Yeah, and so I look forward to watching all of your impact stories unfold in the next few months, hopefully after this talk. So thank you. If you have any questions, you can ask anything.
No sound again, Martin.
I can't hear anything.
Because again, I have my microphone on mute. And everyone is like quietly sitting there listening to nothing. You guys should just say something, right? Well, anyways, what I was sharing, Lydia, is that how important it is to have a proper message, because I feel that a lot of people who really want to do good, they don't know how to bring the message out. And so their actions of doing good actually fall flat before actually anything happens, right? So yeah, if you can pay attention to the messages you shared, even when you're not creating a video, but even when you're talking or sharing a story with someone, most of the points that you mentioned really still fly. We do have time and space for questions. I do think that the video is slightly slower than what we have here online. So we are in the future right now. Maybe Jacqueline, would you have a question for Lydia in the meantime?
I don't see any question at the moment, but let me address probably a few comments here on LinkedIn. Comment first. I'm really interested in an impact storytelling in education. There's so much that needs to change. This is from her, and another one from, yeah, but also a huge need for impact. Different perspective, I know. All right, this is from our audience, and yeah, well, from what you have shared just now, Lydia, there's one thing that came into my mind, like, you know, I'm still thinking about it and processing about it rather and reflecting, is that the key for, or the key focus for an impactful videos or storytelling is really to understand your audience. And there are two types of those, whether they are non-believers or believers. So the two words that I think it's a great, or rather points to consider when it comes to when you feel or when you have the intention or desire to impact the world. So who are those, you know, the people that you're going to reach out? So yeah, thank you so much for that. And also, let's see from Facebook, do we have any comments, or we don't at the moment? And also there's perspective from Annie Wong, yeah, on LinkedIn. As a business, how do you decide what social cause to pick to be authentic? So I guess this is a question. Over to you, Lydia.
Wow, that's a really big question to ask me as a filmmaker.
That's a question for you, Jacqueline.
Yeah, I think as a filmmaker, well, for me, I mean, I work for an environmental NGO, and it's an environmental, and I work there because environmental conservation is very important to me personally. But at the same time, I also make films about topics that I care about. I don't think that I could be an impact filmmaker and make a big impact if I didn't care about the topics I'm talking about. And I think that if you're going to choose an impact campaign, I feel like as a business, especially if you're the leader, I feel like you're in a very, very influential role. Like as a leader of your company, you have the freedom to be able to choose the cause that you want to choose. And I think that if it's your company, you're the one that's going to be there until the very end of your company. And so it's going to be important that you choose something that you're very, very passionate about. And it's something that, you know, the flame is never going to die in your heart. You can't just champion something that you just sit around a campfire or you're watching Netflix and you're like, oh, I feel like I want to do, you know, orphanages or like, you know, migrants. It has to be something that, you know, you feel like this is something that you've cared about for a while and something that you can see in the next 5 to 10 years. Again, authenticity. It's very important that you don't choose something that you just sat around and thought, oh, I need to attach a social impact campaign to my business because then I'll get more customers. They're going to see right through that. It has to be something that you're very passionate about, that you know in the next 5 to 10 years that you can build that credibility in that impact campaign. Just like Patagonia, the example that I showed up front, Patagonia has been doing this since 2005, and their impacts is like 10,000 different impacts. And that's because they are authentic. They truly care about the environment, and they've stuck to it for, you know, the last like almost 20 years. So choose something that is not, the flame isn't going to die in your heart. That's so important.
Yeah. Thank you for highlighting that, Jacqueline, because I mean, the reason why Lydia, the reason why Jacqueline and I connected was exactly that. We realized that so many people are actually, they want to do good, but they don't know why or how, right? And that's why you get so many, do you call it insincere CSR campaigns? They're well meant and they do something good for for someone, but it's a one-off moment, and then the next day we're all back to work and doing, our general jobs. And what we really want to set out as a change is we go back to the job to help more people, or to help more of the nature or society. It doesn't stop when we have this activity one time. It continues every day. We do it because that's why we do our job. So yeah, if that struck a note with you, a chord with you, and you're still searching, please, tag us or let us know. Type impact again. We'll be in touch because that's what we're all about now. Any questions? Let's see.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
I'm reading Ridwan Yusuf's comments here. I think it's a very good point to bring it up here. That he said nowadays we are too bombarded with wide spectrum of creative contents that have too shallow vision. For activists to create creative impact campaign, we may need to think out of box, need to invest in experts and skills, definitely. So coming today is one of your, you're making an effort to, to acquire, to learn from each other, yeah, and to acquire more skills and knowledge around the area, yeah.
He's got a good point, actually. And Lydia, maybe a question to you. As an impact filmmaker, how do I know I'm choosing the right filmmaker for my company if I decide to hire someone to make a film for me?
I mean, I think the easiest answer to that is if let's say you're a business and you have a little bit of a budget, and you want to choose somebody to help you with your impact campaign. I mean, looking at portfolio is important. Somebody that has no experience making an impact film and they can just make pretty pictures, and you really want to make an impact with your video, you wouldn't choose that person. Because I think that's probably like one of the biggest things that I can advise on today for those of you who run businesses and are thinking about investing in impact videos for your company. Do not just hire anybody that can make pretty pictures. Pretty pictures is not impact. I cannot emphasize that enough. There are many people that can make pretty pictures. Many. There are many 21-year-olds that have the equipment, they can have the talent to make impressive visuals with a lot of music or whatever, and they have the editing skills, but they don't have the storytelling skills. So look at profile. You have to ask people to submit impact stories or impact videos or social issue videos that they've done previously. You have to choose somebody that knows how to make an impact film. Otherwise, it's going to be a waste of your marketing dollars. I can guarantee that. I can guarantee it.
Yeah. Thank you. Let's see. Are there any other questions in the group, Jacqueline?
I'm not seeing anything yet, but actually my LinkedIn is lagging, so I'm not so sure. Probably also want to
technology is a challenge today. We didn't do a technology prayer at the start of the session.
Yeah, we should have. Yeah, we should have done.
Yeah, I see the questions are coming in, but it is taking some time. Jacqueline, do you have any other questions? Because I think we had a few for Lydia at the start.
I don't have any for now. Yeah, it's just the two words that stuck in my brain at the moment: non-believers and the believers. Yes, definitely. I have to be very clear on that. Yes, because sometimes when we are passionate enough. Sorry, Martin, come again.
No, it might be a good one for today because obviously we're searching for nearly believers at least.
Yeah, because in this, in the community, in this community of people who are passionate in contributing to preserving the mother nature, for example, any other social impact that you are passionate about, sometimes we tend to be very we look at on a narrow perspective. We just want to focus on what we want to do, but it's also important to understand really about who are those audience that we would like to convey our message. Yeah,
definitely. And I also think that well, the rain is thundering down here, by the way. So if you hear any loud banging, that's because we're in Malaysia and rain doesn't come lightly. But I wanted to add to your point, Jacqueline. I think we're here on Earth Day together right now to make sure that everyone starts actioning. And that does mean that we have to change our message, because we are the ones who see this as something that is necessary, but not everyone does. And so it is also our job to include as many people as possible and make sure that they understand what the message really is. Lydia, any closing thoughts or points that you'd like to mention before we close off, because it's nearing the end of our session?
I mean, I really think that I've said everything. You guys have made it really easy, not asking me very many questions. Yeah, I mean, if anybody is thinking about making an impact video and actually has something in mind, you should seriously jump in the questions section and say now, so that I can help you guys if you guys have an impact campaign in mind. But if not, no, I don't have any closing remarks other than just just make an impact. Make an impact with the gifts that you've been given.
Beautiful.
And everybody has gifts and talents.
Yes, we so agree. Thank you, Lydia, for sharing a little bit about your gift and the beauty that you bring. We will definitely share the links to your videos in the comment section, and also later in the video that we will put on YouTube. So thank you again.
I think there's really something really terribly wrong with the internet connection at the moment.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Exactly. He's frozen. Yes, he's frozen.
Yeah.
I have no idea, but we are actually at the end of the session. So there's my this is my part to cover him. But if you do watching this session on recording, you still can ask Lydia question. Am I right, Lydia? If you have any question, you still can ask her. You can reach her.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, you can reach her through LinkedIn. And I think, what should we do now? It's gone. All right, so thank you so much. I think let's end the session. Thank you so much, everybody. And thank you very much for your support. Yes, so lovely impact our online session today. Okay, that's probably one. Hopefully it's not that really, but yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Let's end the session. Yeah, really appreciate your participation. Thank you so much once again, Lydia. Thank you very much. You really had inspiration.
Yeah.
Okay.